Okay, so what we're going to do now is simply go through all the bones and take a look at how to lock down some of their features so the rig does not break from its original design. So meaning that if we click on the armature and go to pose mode, here if we go ahead and click on this bone, we can actually press the G key and break the rig. Right click to cancel, and if we press the S key, we can also start to scale the figure. So what we're going to do is basically lock those two concepts down so it's not allowed on our figure. The only thing that we should be allowed to do is simply press the R key to rotate our bones. Anyways, press the A key to deselect everything. So what we need to do is go under File, do Save As, and save this as a new file and call it Rigging Lesson 02 L.blend. Now, we actually had made the armature and the figure part of a group, so we're actually going to remove them. So go ahead and click on the figure, you'll see that it shows up as green. So if we go ahead and click on the Object tab, over here, Groups, we can just click on the X. So it's no longer part of a group. Go ahead and click on the armature, and you want to go to the Object tab over here. You'll see that we cannot press the X key because we're in pose mode, so we have to switch to object mode and press X. So it's no longer part of a group. So it's basically the same way as it was before. Now let's go ahead and switch back to pose mode over here and do File and Save. Press the A key to deselect everything. So let's go ahead and look at the bone over here. Now we're only going to be looking at the bones on the left side because we can simply mirror everything to the right side again if we make any changes on the left side, right? So go ahead and click on this bone. So here what we want to do is lock down this bone. Now again, all this stuff that I'm showing you is only internal to Blender, okay? So over here we can just simply click the left mouse button and drag it down and lock the location. Now if we press the G key, it's no longer going to dislodge from this. Of course, over here we want to lock down the scale. We're going to talk about rotation later. Now go ahead over here and click on this bone. Now because there's a parent-child relationship, we don't have to worry about locking down the location because it's not possible to press the G key and move this. The reason for this is because when you go to the Bone tab, see the parent-child relationship has this option connected. Now if we didn't have connected, then we would be able to move the bone, just like over here. See, there's no connection. That's why we have to lock down the location. Anyways, go ahead and click this. So here we're just going to lock down the scale. Click on this one, lock down the scale, lock down the scale, lock down the scale over here, click on the toe and lock down the scale. So all these bones have been locked. Now this is a fixed bone. We don't want to actually mess around with this bone. So over here we're actually going to lock the location, go ahead and lock the rotations and the scale. Right, so if you press the G key, press the R key, press the S key, you shouldn't be able to do anything to this bone. Basically, you won't be able to break the figure. Go ahead and click on the hip bone. Over here, I'm just going to lock the scale. Okay, now we're not going to lock the location because we want to be able to press the G key to move it and press the R key to, of course, rotate this bone. Go ahead and click on this bone, same thing, lock the scale. Lock the scale, and for this upper bone for the chest, lock the scale. I'm going to press the 3 key. Go and click on the neck bone, lock. Over here, we're going to lock the scale. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Take a look at this jawbone. Of course, if we press the G key, we can dislodge the jaw. Right click to cancel. So we're going to lock the location and scale. For the tongue, it's going to be the same thing. Click on this. If you press the G key, you can move the tongue out, so we don't want that to happen. Go ahead and lock the location and scale. Click on the second tongue bone, simply lock the scale. Click on the tip of this tongue bone and lock the scale over here. Okay, so over here I've got everything locked. Okay, now let's take a look at the eye. If we press the G key, we can move the eyeball out, so we don't want that to happen. We're going to lock the location and the scale. So all these bones have been set up correctly. Now press the 1 key. Now if we click on this, press the G key, we can move it, so we need to definitely lock the location and scale. And over here for this guy, we're going to do the same thing, lock the location and scale. We still want to have the ability to rotate this bone. Okay, now go ahead and click this, press the G key. This of course has to be locked down. Go ahead and lock this, lock the scale on all these bones over here, and of course on the hand bone I'm going to lock the scale. Now press the 7 key to go to the top view. Remember, when you have a bone selected, you can press the period key on your numpad to home in on this area. Now for the palm bones, we have to lock the location and scale, right? We can press the G key and kind of mess it up. So let's go ahead and lock this one and lock this one, lock this, lock this, lock this one and this one, lock this one, and lock the scale. Now this is correct. Over here we're going to lock, of course, the location and scale, lock the scale on these bones, and lock the scale on these bones. Okay, now what we need to do is actually lock the scale on all of these bones. So I'm just going to quickly select all these and just go through that process. Okay, so that's all done. So here I'm just going to quickly select these bones because there are quite a bit of bones here, and I'm just visually looking here to make sure that I got everything. And all of these are correct. Okay. Okay, press the 1 key. So that's all settled. So of course what we need to do is now take all these settings and put them on the other side. So the best way to do this is to simply switch to edit mode over here, go to options and turn off x-axis mirror. Go ahead and click on this bone, go to select, go to similar, and here we're going to do suffix. This should only select the bones on the right side. We're going to do X, and we're just going to delete the bones. Click on x-axis and mirror again. Click on this bone over here and go to select, similar, suffix, W, and symmetry. A to D select. Okay. Now if we switch to pose mode over here, press the 1 key, go ahead and click this. You'll notice that all of these should be now locked. Okay. And make sure that it has the .R, okay? Or you can just mirror it the old-fashioned way that I've shown you. And that's it. So let's go ahead and now just do a save on this file. Okay, so as you can see that we've locked the location and scale for all the bones, but we did not lock the rotation. This is because when we create the non-deformed bones, we're actually going to be duplicating these existing bones. So it makes it easy to work with the non-deformed bones when you have the rotations unlocked. Also notice that when you go to edit mode, you don't get that option. Okay? So what we're going to do is switch back to pose mode, do Shift C, do Control middle mouse button to just zoom in over here, and now do a final save, file, and then save. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.